Welcome to my channel, Orquídeas in New Jersey, Orchids in New Jersey. My name is Jenny, and in today's video, we're going to see the difference between a standard Phalaenopsis, a hybrid, and a novelty orchid. Also, the potting media to use for each, when and how to water your orchid, and how to recover an overwatered orchid. Let's start by talking about the standard Phalaenopsis that we have already seen. First of all, it has tall spikes, big beautiful flowers, and in order to initiate blooming, we have to start with a drop in temperature. Now let's take a look at the hybrid. The hybrid orchid has a compact size. It has multiple spikes, so it blooms constantly. Most are fragrant. They are potted in moss, so you could tell when it needs water, so it's easy to water and not overwatered. And here are a few examples of the hybrid. Look how beautiful they look. Look at the colors. But remember, they're all compact. Now let's look at the Novelty Phal. They have rare shapes. Sometimes the colors are combinations of colors. This one, you're going to see, besides that it's compact, but it frequently blooms because there's a spike. When you turn it around, there's another one on the other side, and there's two that already have flowers. So you constantly get blooms on them, which is the nicest thing. How do you know when it needs water? Again, it's in moss. So when you see that it's gray, all you have to do is water it, and they all turn green again. So this one, obviously I haven't watered, but it needs water. And look at the rare shapes. Let me show you some other examples. The color on this one is spectacular, yellow, and look at the shapes. This one in two tones, which is unbelievable that they could create two tones out of it. And here's the purple, how beautiful it looks in different shades. So let's recap. A standard Phalaenopsis has tall spikes, flowers are bigger, not fragrant, and in order to have blooms, you have to initiate it by a temperature drop. A hybrid Phalaenopsis has compact size, looks like a mini Phalaenopsis, most are fragrant, and it frequently blooms. And the Novelty Phalaenopsis has a compact size, rare shapes, flowers have bright colors, some with color combination, blooms frequently, some are fragrant. Now, how can you check if your orchid needs water? One, you could do the finger test or with a skewer, like if you were checking a cake to see if it was done. Number two, by appearance. If the roots look gray after they are watered, you're going to see that they turn green. And by the weight of the pot. If you lift it and it feels light, then obviously it needs water. Here's an example. This phal is watered. You're going to see that the roots are green and the one that is gray has not been watered. So what happens when you overwater your orchid? One of the signs to look for is the leaves, they begin to turn yellow. The other sign is the roots. If they appear black, it's a sign of root rot. As long as you see that you still have green roots and the crown is not affected, like this one that the crown is black, you have a chance of saving the orchid. Now here's an example of an orchid that was overwatered. This orchid was gifted to me. First thing that I had to do was to drain out the water, make sure that the crown was okay, in hopes of trying to save it. This orchid did have a lot of aerial roots because orchids are very strong and they usually try to survive. That's why you see how many roots it has. So here's the first step I had to take. And here's the big task. You have to cut out all the dead roots, clean the orchid thoroughly. I also had to clean the stem, and you're going to see another picture where I really had to get down and dirty with it and take everything out. Cut the spikes and throw away the potting media. And this is what it looks like after being cleaned. Then I placed it inside a container and soaked it for a few hours with peroxide, water, and cinnamon. And here's the potting media that I like to use. This one has medium bark. I like fine bark, charcoal, coconut husk, sponge rock, and pebbles. For me, this works just fine. Here's an example of how I usually pot most of my orchids, with the exception of some phals that are used to just moss, the hybrid, and also the Novelty Phalaenopsis. Anything else in my collection has this kind of mixture together. And I leave the moss just because in New Jersey it's so cold and they need humidity. Now everyone has their own opinion of how to water their orchid. I'm giving you my experience. I would never shower the orchid just because you have to make sure that everything is dry after you're done, including the crown. If not, you expose the orchid to crown rot, and that would be the end of your orchid. I would never put ice on any of the orchids. If you put ice on the roots, they will dry up. You burn them, and that would kill your orchid as well. Now, the first picture that you see there, I have done that. I have placed all my orchids, or most of my orchids, especially the phals, inside a dish pan. This is great, except that if one of them is sick, you run the risk of contaminating the others. The middle one is great because if you are precise, you direct the water exactly where it needs to go. And the last one is what I'm using at the moment. I spray them. I don't spray the leaves. I spray the soil, the potting media, because it is so cold in New Jersey that they don't need that much water. Before I finish, I would like to show you this cute little gift that my friend sent me, and how I inspire my cousin in Florida to grow his Phalaenopsis in their natural habitat. I hope he gives us an update soon. Thank you for watching. I hope these tips help you grow your Phalaenopsis orchids with great success. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to learn more about orchids, please don't forget to subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. and activate the bell so you don't miss any of the other videos. Thank you again, and until the next time, bye and God bless you.